Federal worker who voted for Donald Trump loses her job. Jennifer Piggott is her name. Here it is.
Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
No kings, no tyrants, no kings, no tyrants.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories. But the betrayal felt by Piggott, a church-going conservative and three-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in Republican strongholds like Parkersburg.
Put up the picture full mass. She wasn't just a voter. She was a vocal supporter. Her community overwhelmingly supported Trump. Her state supported Trump. And Trump told you what you wanted to hear. But see, as long as others were losing and you believed you were winning, you voted for him. As long as Black people, brown people, women, members of the LGBTQ community, if they seemed to be losing to you, you believed you were winning. But as I've said before, if you say nothing when they knock on your neighbor's door, there's nobody to say anything when they knock on yours. Well, thankfully, madam, you have Indisputable and a few other people that give a damn about you, okay? All right, here we go. Jennifer Piggott, once again, was one of the 125 individuals laid off recently, fired from the U.S. Treasury Department. This is the Bureau of Fiscal Services in Parkersburg, West Virginia, according to Reuters. Nearly 4% of the state's workforce is or was employed by the federal government. Ms. Piggott says she would never vote for Trump again. Well, he told you that. He said, if you elect me this time, you won't have to vote again. It seems as if he's not looking for you all to vote for him again, as if he just doesn't want to go anywhere, possibly doing the dictator thing that we said that he may try to do. There's more. Elon Musk, unprecedented elimination of civil service jobs. About 30,000 workers have now been fired by Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency since mid-February. This will impact West Virginia more than most states, said West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins. Quote, if the federal layoffs happen, we stand to suffer a disproportionate, isn't that interesting that the word disproportionate is now being used again? Disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy, Deskins told Reuters. And the job losses are just getting started. Another round of cuts has been ordered at all federal agencies for March 13th. Now, I have more to say on the matter. Now, if you remember, I said this happened. It's a domino effect because there's no economic crisis that's within a vacuum. You have individuals who are career employees. They have mortgages. They spend in the local economy. They support a family. They're supporting families that go to institutions. And that economic ecosystem has been disrupted. It has been disrupted in a serious way. But you have to wonder, what is the aim here? Donald Trump, while cutting all of these federal jobs under the direction of Elon Musk, the truly in charge oligarch, he is also increasing what you pay on basic goods and services. So you have your tariffs from Canada, you have your tariffs from Mexico, you have your tariffs from China. So what is he doing? This is an impossible economy to sustain. Everybody knows this. In the meantime, he's taking meetings in Mar-a-Lago, taking $1 million to $1 million to $5 million dinners. with other millionaires. What is he doing? Why? Well, those are going to be the carve-outs in the future. You see, there will be carve-outs to the tariffs. The individuals who are spending money right now with Trump, telling Trump how he can carve out this and carve out that, and Trump telling them, well, how much money are you going to pay? And the rest will simply go into privatization. That's just my opinion of the move here. But you have to consider these individuals are trying to take it all, fundamentally transform every moment of our existence in the United States of America, not just a part of it. There's more. Cutting costs and waste and fraud. We love that big picture, said Miss Piggott, 47 years of age. I love that picture. We were excited about that because it is true. But voting for Trump again, voting for Elon Musk, essentially, to wreck people's lives, Piggott said, is something she said she just can't do. Finally, something hit you. It didn't take all of this. It should not have taken all of this in order for you to see the bigger picture, madam. The bigger picture is not cutting fraud and waste. The bigger picture is you are manipulated to believe that if 1 out of 100 individuals, if that one person is committing fraud and waste, you need to cut the whole program for the 99 who's doing it correctly. That is what you fail for. Even though Trump loyalists have proposed a constitutional change allowing the president to have a third term, as it stands now, Trump cannot be reelected president unless something wild happens. Piggott, who worked for the Bureau for 5 years, was recently promoted. Said most people assumed government workers knew this was coming. Quote, but we didn't, she said. Nobody that I've talked to understands the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives. Well, we did, and we tried to warn you. Put up the picture full max. Recently, the Atlanta Black Star reported a Donald Trump voter was detained by ICE at gunpoint, and the internet shows him no mercy. You're looking at a Hispanic man from Virginia who voted for Donald Trump, found himself caught up in an administration crackdown of, quote, illegal immigration last week, with ICE agents detaining him at gunpoint despite being a naturalized American citizen. As it turned out, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were actually searching for another man facing deportation. But for Mr. Jency Machado, the man forced to pull over and prove his legal status, the damage had already been done. Mr. Machado said he believed that Trump would be focused on criminals, not each and every Hispanic person going about their daily life. That's what they're doing now, he told Telemundo's 44. And the reporter who broke this story did a remarkable job. They're just following Hispanic people, end quote, he said. Now, here we are. Here we are. This is what it looks like. This is what is happening now. This is the America that you're in. You are not good in the month of March yet. We just got here. He was just sworn in. Seems like he's been in for years, right? This kind of devastation, this extreme amount of heartlessness, targeting this group, targeting that group. He's targeting individuals who literally voted for him. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. He's transforming this into an oligarch nation. That is the point. That's what he's trying to do. But you still have the power. You can stop this. Because as it stands today, you still have a democracy. While weakened, yes, you still have one. You kept playing with this notion of constitutional norms. You forgave those who attempted to shred the Constitution and overturn the U.S. government, trying to stop a constitutionally mandated process called the transfer of power. You gave them refuge. You then became an apologist for the man who ordered it. And then turned around and put that man back in office. And what is he now giving you? He is giving you what he told you he was. A person who doesn't give a damn about your constitution, about your religion, or about your Bible or your evangelical views. He gives a damn about none of it. And now you're feeling it. We would prefer you to be allies, even if we simply agree on some basics here. For example, voting means there is no election that's final. We would like us to agree together on that, because the way he's running this country, he doesn't seem as if he's concerned about getting your vote again. That is dangerous. All right, Yasmin, thoughts here.
Yeah, I imagine that many people find it very difficult to have empathy or sympathy for people who were either entirely incapable of having any for anyone else, or were incapable of learning and listening to the things that we were trying to tell them all along. But they were totally fine with Trump's policies when they were affecting other people. They're only now waking up to how bad and dangerous and damaging his policies are now that they're affecting them directly. But while it is difficult for me and others to feel bad for people like this voter or like the Hispanic voter who was accosted by ICE, we need to have empathy for them. I need to. We at least need to be supportive of them. They are finally as angry as we are about what's been happening to these workers across the country and to minority groups across the country. It just took them a little longer to get to where we are, but that's the reality of being a progressive. People are going to take a minute to get on board with certain ideas because by definition, these ideas that progressives tend to espouse fall outside of the scope of the mainstream party messages. I just hope that now they understand that we have been fighting for them and their rights all along, even as they fought us on it. We're not happy about what's happened to these people either. We want, as we have always wanted, justice for these people and for them to be treated in a way that gives them some kind of dignity. There are plenty of Republican voters who genuinely believe that the work Elon Musk is doing with his Department of Government Efficiency is for the good of the country. They genuinely believe but their belief seems to be rooted in something that is actually bipartisan. No one likes government waste. No one likes inefficient spending, especially when the money that is being spent inefficiently is comprised of our tax dollars. But the difference between people who support Elon Musk and Doge and the people who don't is that the people who don't do not believe that what Elon is doing has anything to do with making the government more efficient. It is a facade, it's a farce, it's a disingenuous way to galvanize support behind something that will make life very, very difficult for so many Americans, even Americans who are not directly impacted by the layoffs. There will be downline impacts of these layoffs and department shutdowns. What will we do with all of these laid off workers? They don't have a plan for any of it, especially when the same government that's laying off these workers is trying to eradicate other social services and programs that might support these workers during this time because they rebranded those social services as handouts. The thing people need to understand is that nothing Trump or this administration does is with their best interest in mind. It is only ever with Trump's best interest in mind. He's not levying tariffs on our Canadian allies because he wants to bring jobs back to this country. He's actively eliminating jobs from our job market. He's levying tariffs because he's trying to tank the Canadian economy because Elon wants all of the minerals sitting underneath all of that Canadian ice. I hope that we see many more stories like this, but it is hard to gauge how widespread these feelings actually are. I hope they're very widespread. I hope people are starting to feel the impacts of this government and this administration. Perhaps we will see tell of this during the midterm elections, but in the meantime, things will not be easy for so many American people.
That's right. And also in the meantime, Elon Musk somehow is increasing how much money he gets from the federal government while everybody else is losing.
Yeah.